Hey everyone, and welcome to the Architecture of a Thought. Let me ask you something. Do you ever get that feeling that you are just drawing in words? The endless scroll, the work charts, the emails, the reports. It's like we are being pelted with tiny black letters on a white screen. And at some point, your brain just wants to scream. Enough! I can't take anymore. If that sounds familiar, then this episode is for you. We are going to talk about why our linear text-based way of thinking is hitting a wall, and why the key to the future and to our own sanity might just be hidden in the past, in something ancient, beautiful, and surprisingly logical, the ornament. In today's world, we often split people into two camps. In fact, in four parts. Homo intuitus, Homo practicus, Homo ethicus, and Homo rationalis. On one side, you have the rationalists and the pragmatists, love of spreadsheet, the people of facts, plain logic and control. And on the other side, you have the intuitives and relationshipers. You know the ones, the people who just get a feeling, who see the whole picture at once, who make decisions that look like pure chaos from the outside. But just think about it. They're visionaries, strategists, artists, systemizers. Nikola Tesla was one of them. He didn't draft blueprints. He saw his inventions working, fully formed in his mind, just turned on his inner feeling. And right there, that's where the conflict starts. The rationalists get irritated by this intuitive messiness, this unpredictability they can't measure or control. Where is the data? What's this based on? This is just smoke and mirrors. Sound familiar? Meanwhile, the intuitives get exhausted trying to break down their holistic vision into tiny dry facts just to prove they are not crazy. But what if I told you that intuitive intelligence isn't chaos at all? That it's actually a prophetic intelligence, the oldest operating system humanity has. The ones that helped us navigate uncertainty for thousands of years. And what if I told you it has its own very clear architecture? The writer who inspired this episode, Eleanor Buran, calls it the Ornamental Architecture of Intelligence. The core idea is that our brains don't just run on letters. That's only about a quarter of our cognitive capacity, plain letters. So, what are the other 3/4 doing? Let's imagine two ancient hunters in the mountains. They went firing off texts in a group chat. They went chattering non-stop. They were silent. They were listening to the forest. They were reading the world around them. In the sway of a branch, the shape of a leaf, the track on the ground, their text was reality itself, three-dimensional, colorful, alive, first on a stone. And when they needed to pass on knowledge, how to get to the water source, when the hunting season begins, how the world works, they didn't write a manual. They carved and wove ornaments. Look at any ancient symbol. Take the solar cross, a cross inside a circle. We see it everywhere, from ancient European cultures to the flags of Nordic countries. Today, we'd call it a logo, but it wasn't just a picture, it was a mental map, an intuitive blueprint. Let's break it down like a modern diagram. You see 4 sides, like 4 poles. The north, west, south, east. The top north represents light, inspiration. This intuition is the fourth side, the strategy, the what if. The bottom south is the roots, the earth, the body. This is practice. It's the tangible stuff, the execution, the how-to. The left, west, is memory, the past. This is fact, logic, the archive, the analysis, the hard data. And the right, east, is the sunrise, the new. In fact, it is how our brain works. 4 parts. This is empathy and communication, the values, the human connection, the who is this for is the east in our story. And all 4 of these streams meet in the center, in the point where a holistic, balanced decision is born. You see, it's not chaos, it's a 4-stream processing system. When an intuitive person says, I just have a gut feeling, we need to go this way, what's actually happening is a lightning-fast computation across all 4 streams. They are seeing a potential future, intuition, checking it against the past experience, logic, sensing its impact on the team, empathy, engaging if it's doable, practice. It happens so fast they can't articulate the steps. They just give you the final answer, this way. That ability to see the whole system at once. That is ornamental thinking. It's not flat, like text on a page. It's multidimensional, like a hologram. A modern techie sound, like a holographic interface activating. And here's where it gets really interesting. We are standing on the edge of the AI era, and we are building it in our own image. If you only train AI on linear text, on data from the past, we'll get a super fast but very limited rationalist. A machine that can analyze what's already happened, but can never truly envision what could happen. But what if we taught AI to think ornamentally? Imagine you give it a problem, and instead of just spitting out a wall of text, it builds you a living map of meaning where one stream shows you potential, future, scenarios, intuition, another backs it up with data and analysis, logic, a third assesses the ethic and human impact, empathy, and a fourth gives you concrete steps and case studies to make it real, practice. That's not a chatbot anymore. That's a true thought partner. And the crazy thing is, we are already moving in this direction. All these no-code platforms where you build workflows with visual blocks like Legos. That's pure ornamental thinking. Mind maps, flowcharts, even the classic SWOT analysis with its 4 quadrants. These are all our text fatigue brains trying to get back to a more natural, holistic way of seeing. So, what's the takeaway? How do we broker peace between the rationalists and the intuitives on our teams, in our families, and even inside our own heads? I think it starts with a simple acknowledgement. There is more than one way to think, and intuition isn't magic or madness. It's a powerful tool for systemic vision, and it has a structure, one that's as ancient as humanity and more relevant than ever. So next time your intuitive colleague comes up with an idea that seems to come from nowhere, don't just shut them down and ask for a 10-page report. Try becoming their translator. Ask them questions along those 4 streams. What's the future opportunity you are seeing here? Intuition. What past experience does this connect to? Logic. How will this feel for our team or our customers? Empathy. What's the smallest first step we could take to test this? Practice. And you'll see, the case will start to organize itself into a clear, multi-dimensional strategy. Peace. Finally. You combine instead of conflicting. You'll help them translate their vision into a language everyone can understand. So ornament is about universality, and in return, they'll help you see what's hidden beyond the lines of your spreadsheets, the future. Because in a world where everything changes by the second, the ability to foresee, to sense new currents, and to make decisions in deep uncertainty isn't just an advantage, it's a survival skill. And our ancient intuitive ornamental intelligence knows that better than anything. Thanks for joining me. This has been the architecture of a thought. Think holistically. I will see you next time. Bye.